A major bridge in Baltimore has collapsed after being struck by a cargo ship, and NBC's Tom Costello joins us now with the latest. Tom, good morning.
Hey, Joe, this is a major disaster here in the Baltimore area. This is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Let me just show you where we are, and then we're going to take the video. But this is the road that goes up to the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and you can see the bridge goes up, if you will, at an angle. That's it. That's the end of the bridge. Look to the right. You'll see cargo is stacked on top of a container ship, and that's the ship that hit the bridge. Now take a look at the video itself of the actual incident. Just a phenomenal incident, terrible incident this morning, 1:30, in which a Singapore-flagged cargo vessel hit the structure, hit this bridge, and immediately took it all out. The pylon or the support structure collapsed, and when it did, the entire bridge then went down. The fire department in the last few minutes has said that they believe 7 people were on board or on top of that bridge, I should say, and went into the water. 2 people were recovered. One of them is in critical condition at a local trauma center. Everybody on board the ship is okay, including both pilots and the crew. The teams here on the ground, the fire department and the Coast Guard, have not yet gotten onto that ship because they want to do a full damage assessment, essentially to see how seaworthy it is. They do stress that they do not believe that there is anybody from the ship in the water, and they do not believe that there's any pollution in the water. Nonetheless, this vessel clearly has in some way either lost its ability to navigate or made a significant navigational error, hitting the pylon here for the Francis Scott Key Bridge, this critical bridge in one of the nation's busiest ports. And so if you travel up and down I-95, of course, in and around Baltimore, be aware I-95 is open, but you're likely to see significant traffic today. The port itself likely to be dealing with huge logistical challenges just in terms of the ship traffic and cargo traffic and what it can and cannot do. And as 695 is closed in and around Baltimore, 895 is open, 695 is closed. So this is going to be just a tremendous logistical mess today. But at the moment, this is an immediate search and rescue operation with the fire department from multiple jurisdictions, fire departments, plural, as well as the Coast Guard. But Joe, I'll tell you, we checked with on the survivability of being in the water. It's about 45 degrees in the water, 32 degrees outside where we are right now. And the University of Minnesota Duluth is suggesting you'd have about 7 minutes in the water before you start to be facing exhaustion. Maybe you would have an hour in the water if you're lucky and you have a flotation device and some sort of warm weather or cold water gear, I should say. Sorry, it's awfully cold out here. Not long, maybe an hour of survivability in that kind of water temperature. Nonetheless, the all-out effort continues here with helicopters circling overhead and searching the water for any signs of survivors. Joe?
Tom, what about cars? The 7 that you're talking about, does that include vehicles? Were there any vehicles? Do we know?
Yeah. The fire department says that they believe that there are cars in the water. They already have sonar imagery suggesting that there are cars in the water. It's not clear how many people were in cars that went in the water. It's not clear whether there were construction workers on the bridge at the time who went in the water. In total right now, they believe 7 people are missing. At one point, we'd heard 20 people. Now we're hearing 7 people from the fire chief. So and the problem is, as you know, it was pitch black out there and they couldn't see a thing. Thankfully, now the sun is coming up and getting a much better view of what they're dealing with.
So that may include the people that you're talking about in the vehicle that thought that perhaps there were the 7 construction workers and no idea about the vehicles. Tom, on another video, I don't know if you've seen it, and it's early, and it's, I'm not going to say we have no idea, but it looks like the lights went out in the cargo ship. It looks like the power went off, and it looked like it lost ability to navigate. I don't know whether you've seen that because this, I mean. Yeah,
I saw that, and also it looked like there was smoke coming up off the top of the ship. But we're all getting it's all from a very long distance, of course, and not the greatest cameras that we're getting that vantage point. So we have a lot of questions for we will have a lot of questions for the NTSB as well as for the local, responding jurisdictions, Coast Guard and fire departments. But at the moment, they are right now, at this very moment, this is an all-out search and rescue effort. And then later, they will try to dissect exactly what went wrong. But the Francis Scott Key Bridge, I think it's about a 55-year-old bridge. This is just a major artery here in the Baltimore area. And so it's just stunning, Joe. I will tell you, the locals are stunned that you would have, first of all, a single ship would hit that kind of a support structure, and second of all, that the bridge would be so vulnerable to being taken out by a single ship, and that it just crumbled like that into the water.
Hey, Tom, it's Becky. Just more on that being such an important artery. I was reading about this, and I don't know if you know this or not off the top of your head, just that trucks carrying hazardous material are not allowed to go through the tunnels that operate as a go-around. So I-95 truck traffic is going to be in huge snarls as a result of this.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Becky. I mean, I came up from Washington, D.C., where I live, and I went through 895 to get here. 695 is closed. And you're right. I think, listen, I drove up at 3:30 in the morning. It was a lot faster. At the moment we're going into rush hour, it's going to be just a mess up and down the East Coast, especially in and around Baltimore. And because that bridge so completely and fully collapsed, it's not going to be a quick fix to get a bridge fix on the bridge at this point.
Could be years, Tom, I think, couldn't it? Or at least months and months.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Listen, I'm no bridge expert. The other question here is going to be who was actually piloting that ship at the time. Because, you know, when you bring a major ship into any of America's biggest ports, the captain of the ship has to stand aside while a local pilot boards the ship to navigate into the port. So the question's going to be, well, who was piloting that ship at 1:30 in the morning? As I mentioned, this is a Singapore-flagged vessel. Who was piloting that vessel at 1:30 in the morning? Did the ship suddenly lose all power, and as a result, the ship became uncontrollable and they crashed into the pylon? We simply don't know the answers to that, and the answers are coming incrementally and slowly from the fire department. As you would expect, their focus right now is very much on search and rescue.